Hello, my name is Emily Lynch from Gannon University, and I did my project on the Housing First initiative in Finland and how they use this to significantly decrease the homelessness in their country. So, about 30 years ago, starting in 1987, the Finland government decided that they really needed to crack down on the homelessness in their country. At the time, they had about 18,000 people who were experiencing homelessness. And so, to them, this was a really big deal, and they really wanted to tackle this problem. So they continued to work on this, and then in 2007, the government adopted the Housing First initiative, where their first and foremost goal was to provide homeless people with a house. Now, in some other countries, when they provide houses to homeless people, there are some steps that those people have to go through first, such as acquiring a job or being sober for a certain number of days before they're eligible for the help in these programs. However, in Finland, that is not the case at all. The offer of the home is completely unconditional, even if the person is abusing drugs or alcohol, even if they don't have a job, they're guaranteed the house no matter what. And the Finland government actually does this for a very specific reason. They think that it's very hard to tackle those other issues that might contribute to homelessness when you don't even have a house. It's very difficult to stop abusing drugs when you're homeless. It's very difficult to find a job when you're homeless. So that's why, first and foremost, they provide a house to every single homeless person. And then there are also various different housing accommodations ranging based on the individual person's need. There are some individual style apartments where you would live normally, take care of yourself, and all of that. And then there's also group homes or units for people who might need a little more support. And so those units would have 24/7 care that the government would provide support for those people. And the Housing First initiative has proven to be extremely effective. As recently as 2017, the homelessness in the country decreased to 6,600 people in Finland. And it's also important to note that in those numbers, that includes people who are not necessarily out on the street homeless, but maybe just don't have a permanent house of their home and are staying with friends or family members. And in terms of people who are actually out living on the street, that's a very small number. So it has decreased significantly. Most of the people who are considered homeless are actually the people who are just don't have their own stable housing yet. And then in addition to providing the house for the people, the government has also decided that there are a lot of support systems that these people need to have in place in order to get back on their feet. There are many underlying reasons why someone might end up homeless, including unemployment, addiction, mental health issues, family problems such as domestic violence. All of these things can contribute to someone ending up homeless, and the government recognizes that in order to not only become not only provide a house to the person, but they also need to help with these issues in order to help the people get back on their feet and able to take care of themselves. So as a result, they have many support systems in place for the people, such as having a housing advisor or a financial advisor to deal with some of the financial issues. They also have a debt counselor to help with that. The people can also see social workers, mental health counselors, and addiction counselors to help with some of those mental health issues or addiction issues that either led to homelessness or got worsened while they were homeless. And then they can also receive higher education or get specially trained in a job in order to help them to get a better job and be better able to support themselves. And as I said before, some other countries require the people to take these steps on their own before they're even eligible for a house. But in Finland, they do it the opposite way. And it's proven to be very effective because not only have they been able to provide houses for so many people, but they've also really been able to help these people improve their quality of life. And with all political things, there's not been 100% support for this in Finland. So here are just some reasons why some people in Finland might be opposed to this method of helping homeless people. So some of the people in Finland just have a moral opposition to this. They think that people who are either abusing drugs and alcohol or are unemployed, that they don't deserve to have a house, and it's like more of a moral thing for them. However, this argument has ultimately not held up that well because a lot of the government supports this. A lot of the people in Finland do support this. So through that support and through the government funding, it just really hasn't been an issue for the people who oppose it because it has been so successful. And then also residents in the places where the housing units are being built are a little apprehensive about this because they're worried about how the community and the neighborhood are affected. However, they've seen a lot of growth in the neighborhoods where the tenants are placed because they do have a lot of environmental impacts, such as community gardens and community cleanups to keep the area clean. So they've actually seen a lot of growth in those areas. So that has not really proven to be an issue either. And then another issue that has arisen is that the Housing First initiative disproportionately helps men more than it helps women. And while the government is looking into this and reasons why this is happening and how they can help it, currently it is still helping men more than women. And one of the reasons this could be happening is that women might be more likely to be part of that 6,600 number that was mentioned earlier. That includes people who are not like out on the street homeless, but are living with friends and family members because women might be more likely to reach out for that social help from people they know, so they might not go through the government's method of correcting their homelessness and just find accommodations personally in their lives. But the government is looking into those and trying to alleviate that difference between men and women. And then the Y Foundation is an organization that works with the Finland government in order to provide the houses for everyone. And they, on their website, have shared success stories from some of the people who have gone through this program. So I just wanted to share some of the stories of people who have gone through this and successfully found a house and gotten back on their feet. So there was a 44-year-old man who struggled with homelessness, and in his homelessness, he also struggled with alcoholism, and he was talking about how when he was homeless and struggling with alcoholism, he could not have ever imagined getting sober. Homelessness is obviously a very difficult thing to go through, and he was really using alcohol as an escape, and he never saw himself being able to get over that. However, in working with the Housing First initiative and getting a house and getting back on his feet, he was then able to overcome his alcoholism and stay sober for several months, and that was something he never thought that he could do before. So it just shows how effective this program is, and not only providing people with a house, but also helping with those underlying circumstances that gotten worse in homelessness or contributed to the homelessness. And then there was also a 59-year-old woman who explains how she had health conditions suddenly that made her unable to live in her current accommodations. And then she also lost her job as a result. And so she was not able to find a house. But then she worked through the Housing First Initiative and she was quickly able to get set up with a house that she could live in that was accommodating to her health concerns, and how she felt like it was very nice to be seen and as a person in that circumstance, because sometimes homeless people are kind of dehumanized, but through the Housing First initiative, she was able to get back on her feet in a very humane and compassionate way. So overall, the Housing First initiative has proven to be extremely successful and effective in helping homelessness in Finland. They have significantly decreased the number of homeless people, and they have really improved the people's quality of life through the additional support services such as mental health counseling and financial advising that they offer to these people. And overall, it's just been really effective. Thank you.